You were the only living soul I can tell my secret to. I painted every single one of them. Every big eye. Me. And no one will ever know but you.
You're gonna love this stuff. Why are their eyes so big?
The eyes are the windows of the soul.
That's why I paint them so big. I've always done it that way.
Why are you lying?
A friend of mine who was a fan of the work told me about the story, and it surprised me. I know it was documented in newspapers and things, but it sort of flew beneath the radar. It was not something I was aware of, which then made the story even more fascinating, obviously, because of just the work itself and then the story behind it and the sort of craziness in the court, the case that happened and everything.
Smile.
I remember when Mama painted that.
You're confused. I painted that.
It's a story about a fantasist, a man who wants to be something that he cannot be.
But the truth was that he had a wife who had locked herself in the back of the house, and she was really painting the whole time. And the reason she was painting these kids sad is because she was sad.
But when you realize that the sadness in those eyes are coming from a woman who is sort of being locked up and taken advantage of, it adds an element of I guess almost like folk art in a sense. It is a woman, you know, these actually were paintings in which she was expressing herself.
And cut.
It's about a woman who wants to take her name back.
These paintings are a part of my being. Maybe I could sign it myself.
That sounds a bit confusing, doesn't it? Keane means me.
For whatever reasons, they make a contract where he's going to be the face of the paintings and she's going to paint them.
He's taking credit for all of her work and passing it off as his own, and that's so sad and devastating.
I think that starts to plague her a bit, and even though she's painting her own work, it's just, she's still, you know, in the background of Walter's story.
We made $5,000, and it wasn't even for one of you good ones.
Don't you mean one of your good ones?
No. All right, one of our good ones.
Oh, what about honesty?
Oh, come on, the painting says Keane. I'm Keane, you're Keane. From now on, we're one and the same.
There was never a grand conspiracy. It was kind of a small lie that kept growing.
She sort of becomes the lie that she's telling, and it really, and so does Walter, you know. They both become affected, but in two very different ways.
What is troubling you?
I lied to my child. I'm just not that kind of person.
Is your husband that kind of person?
You know, it was at a time, you know, like in the late 50s where, you know, it was harder for women to kind of, you know, especially in America, a certain kind of cultural structure and sociological structure to things that made it harder for women to kind of, you know, be individuals.
Do you want to give back the money? If you tell anyone, this empire collapses.
If that's the price. It's like a mirage. From a distance, you look like a painter. But up close, there's just not much there.
That's an outrageous statement!
So, who is the artist?